point, but they're both 64s, so I think we'll be okay.
I guess we didn't use it that much before.
You okay?
Something quite. Trim your beard, mustache.
only to keep it there, and that's not acceptable. According to the experts.
That's why I want to ask.
According to the experts.
There's a lot of work in it.
Yeah, okay.
Good evening and welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Parks and Recreation Commission for the City of Costa Mesa. It is February 28th, 2019. At this time, I call the meeting to order. And if you would all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, Commissioner Erickson will lead us in the pledge. Thank you.
Please rise, raise right hand over your heart and repeat with me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 3, administration of oath of office for newly appointed Parks and Recreation Commissioners.
The three new commissioners, please join me up here.
I know. Who knew the paparazzi was going to go? You want me to do this? Okay. Oh, take this out. Oh, I don't need a microphone for this. Okay. Well, good. I am honored to be here, actually, on behalf of our district director, on behalf of Assemblywoman Heidi Norris, to provide you with these certificates of recognition from CARI. On behalf of the California State Assembly, I would like to congratulate you on being appointed to the Costa Mesa Parks and Recreation Commission. Highlighting the critical role parks play in our community is important. Your dedication to public service is immense. Another round of salutes. Hand off, Jared. Okay. All right. I'm going to take a couple. Oh, yeah. So this is for the entire commission.
At this time, I'm going to give Councilwoman Reynolds a point of personal privilege.
Thank you. I don't know if we're on. Okay, well, good. I'm really excited to be here to support you all in your new endeavor. It's fun to see all 5 of you. I'm really excited about this team. I can say my soccer team is very excited that I have my Thursday nights back. But I had two requests that I wanted to leave you with. One, I don't know if you know, you are the last line of defense for our public trees. So I'll ask you all to defend our trees, please. But second, and perhaps most importantly, we started, the previous commission to you, started a tradition of themed photos at the end of the meetings. And I'll ask you to continue that tradition and to support you in doing that tonight. I'm leaving you with some goodies to share amongst yourselves, some Costa Mesa hats. And to go with it, some Costa Mesa sunglasses. So I will look for a photo from you all at the end of the night posted on social media. Oops.
Thank you, Councilwoman Reynolds. Yes, we'll hand those out at the end. Great.
Item 4, roll call. Chair McNabb,
Here.
Commissioner DeSico,
Here.
Commissioner Erickson,
Here.
Commissioner Fay,
Present.
Commissioner Rutherford.
Here.
Item 5, approval of the minutes of the January 24th, 2019 meeting of the PRC.
Does anyone have any corrections or comments on the minutes from last month's meeting? Seeing none, I will ask for a motion.
Madam Chair, I'll move to approve.
Second.
Excellent. And at this time, if there are no comments, then I will call for the question.
The motion carries 5-0. Item 6, public comments.
To ensure fair and equal treatment of all who appear before the Parks and Recreation Commission and to expedite city business, speakers will be limited to 3 minutes during public comments. The 3-minute mark per speaker time limit may be extended for good cause by the chairperson or a majority vote of the commission. Please state your name and the city in which you reside for the record, and at this time I will open public comments. Welcome.
Good evening, Kim Hendricks, Costa Mesa resident, and welcome to the Parks and Community Service, or the Parks and Rec Commission. Out of all the parks, we have one park here that is very special. It's not like any other park. It's a nature park. It has over 9 rare and endangered species, plants and animals. It's Fairview Park, Fairview Nature Park. And I would like to share with you an email from U.S. Fish and Wildlife that was sent to the Lions Club president, Phil Marsh, regarding the Fish Fry Carnival that has been held there since 2012 when our former Mayor Mensinger moved it there to save the fields over here at Lions Park, when, of course, they're man-made and Fairview Park is not man-made. So this, what I see is necessary for people to make good decisions, is not who you're friends with, not who you're a team player with, but how much do you understand the issue? Do you do your homework? Do you read? Do you understand science? Because this is a very unique park, and it has fairy shrimp, and the fish fry has been degrading it every year. And the city has not taken any action to move it out, although we've been requesting it over and over again. So I would like to give you this email from Christine Medic, and also I'd like to give you this fairy shrimp. This is the model that all biologists use. This can be found, this is not a complete copy. It's in the Claremont colleges as well as the Army Corps of Engineers. Oh, thank you. So I made 5, and here, and you can give them this too. And actually, the Riverside Fairy, and this is actually a delightful story of fairy shrimp, if you can ever say that about a story about fairy shrimp, because I didn't think you could. But this is a gentleman who went to UC Santa Barbara in the 1950s, and actually his professor, the Riverside Fairy Shrimp, is named after him, Mutoni. And so I made the copies, just part of it. It's actually 127 pages. So I really wish that you would come to understand how critical it is, and you'll see that the U.S. Fish and Wildlife did not designate Fairview Park as critical habitat because of the Fairview Park Master Plan, which superseded the protection that the critical habitat could give them. So it's really important in order to make good decisions that have long-term effects. And everyone loves Fairview Park in Costa Mesa. 70.9% of the voters voted to save it from sport fields that we didn't need, on and on. And I know that you love nature. I heard you speak. And so it's not just about trees. We need our grasslands back. Okay, the birds of prey are just barely hanging on. The gnatcatchers have moved away from Placentia. There's only a couple now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other public comments? At this time, I will close public comments and open up to commissioner comments. This evening, we'll start with Commissioner Erickson.
Thank you. Staff, I had submitted a couple of slides for the public. Okay, thanks. Before the slides are up, I guess I'll mention one thing that isn't in the slides. I read recently about the city of Long Beach starting a program, thank you, wherein residents could apply to have fruit trees planted in their front yards. And it looked really intriguing. I'm doing a little research on it now, but so far, like 500 fruit trees have been planted in the front yards of residents of Long Beach, and it was a city-sponsored event. Much mention has been made of trees, and it's a fantastic amenity for the city. And creating basically an urban garden with fruit trees sounds awesome. I would love to research it further and take any comments from staff offline about that program, whether or not you've talked with Long Beach about it, but it just looked really neat. So just comment on that. Slides up there. It's a little tough to read, but next weekend on the 9th, there's a community bike ride heading out from Anaheim Stadium, actually, all the way down to the Pacific Ocean and then back, sponsored by Anaheim and the police department there. And it's in honor and support of Captain Kreza, Mike Kreza, who was unfortunately struck and killed by a car while riding his bicycle. The gentleman was a firefighter here in Costa Mesa. So I noticed it. I said to myself, what a way to honor the man, and why aren't we doing it? I've heard secondhand that there was a grant awarded to Anaheim to help fund the police support of the event, and I don't know enough about how it was organized to really comment on that. I just think that we should probably be able to do something like it, and I'd like to be a part of that process. So next slide, if you would. And if I may also, if you have the time and you like riding bikes, or even if you don't like riding bikes, go ride a bike on the 9th with this group, because it'll be a lot of fun, and the Santa Ana River Trail, you just can't beat it. So again, a little tough to see, but I put a ride together on the western side of Costa Mesa. I just call it the 5 Parks ride, because you see 5 parks on the bicycle ride. It's largely off street. You are either in a neighborhood or in a park for about 85% of the ride. You will see Canyon Park, Marina View Park, the Talbot Orange County Park, Fairview Park, and Vista Park, all within 7 miles. And it's an easy ride. Again, not much traffic. Most of it's on dirt or a walking path or a biking path in a park. It's an option that I would give up here to staff and the city to consider as a way to put together a group ride that might support the Kreza family and draw more people to the parks too. So those are my thoughts, and I will definitely pursue them further with the staff. That's all I had.
Great.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Fay, would you like to go?
Sure. I just want to say hello to the public, and thank you very much for staff for the onboarding. This is completely new and exciting to learn from all of you. I'm thrilled to serve in Costa Mesa. I have lived here on and off for the last 20 plus years, a little stint overseas in the meantime, but I am passionate about our parks. I'm passionate about our community. I think we have such an opportunity to connect our arts and culture into our programming of our parks, and I think that staff already does an incredible job, as I was learning about the 222, current programs that are going on. So as a resident, if you aren't looking at those 222 programs, I encourage you to do so, and I will be looking a lot closer at them. And thank you for having me.
Welcome. We're thrilled that you could join us. Commissioner DeCisco. Was that it? Great.
I just wanted to say thank you to the City Council for appointing me to this position. I'm very excited as well to get started. my main focus for joining this council was to continue some of the ideas that the city has had in the past to get people outside of their house and off their electronics, and out to enjoy all of our parks, our nature, enjoy each other's company, actually. So I look forward to continuing a lot of the programs that we do, like concerts in the park, movies in the parks, things like that, and then possibly some other ideas just to have people enjoy these wonderful parks and nature areas that we do have.
Welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. Commissioner Rutherford.
Good evening, everybody. I just wanted to say thank you for the opportunity to serve the city of Costa Mesa, and thanks to our wonderful city staff. They've been getting us new commissioners all up to speed with everything that's going on, and we're learning about all the amazing work that's been done, but also areas maybe where this commission could step in and step up and bring new ideas to the table. I applied for this commission because I'm really passionate about public service. I believe that it's something we should all be passionate. We should all be working to instill that belief in our community. So I want to give back. I'm easily accessible, easy to reach. You can always come to me if there's anything about the commission that you're interested in talking about. And I also just wanted to mention a couple things. There's a Costa Mesa cleanup happening this Saturday at 8 a.m. It's happening at Neat Coffee with Trellis, and Trellis is an amazing community organization. They've been active in the city for a long time, as I've been learning. So Saturday at 8 a.m. is a great opportunity to get involved with Trellis. And then something that I'm really passionate about on this commission personally, as I was reading and getting up to speed before joining the commission, I stumbled across this chart of statistics, and it shows that in the city of Costa Mesa, only 2.2% of people ride their bikes, only 2.3% of people walk, and 79% of people drive alone as their preferred mode of commuting. So I view that as a challenge for my fellow commissioners and I to see what we can do to lower that number of people that are driving and increase the number of people that are out in our parks and open space. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and welcome, Commissioner Rutherford. My comments this month, I would like to wish everyone who celebrates the Lunar New Year a Happy New Year. There was a wonderful celebration at the Orange County Fairgrounds honoring the Tet Festival, and every year they just outdo themselves. So it was very exciting this year, and would recommend it highly to anyone to attend next year. I would also like to congratulate the Costa Mesa High School cheerleading squad. They won the national championships in Florida last week, and so it certainly is a proud moment for Costa Mesa High School. And I think that the City Council will be honoring them at the council meeting as well. I would also like to announce that tomorrow, March 1st, the City of Costa Mesa is partnering with the United Way and the Office of Assemblywoman Kati Petrie Norris to offer free tax assistance. The Franchise Tax Board will be bringing its e-bus and doing free tax preparation for individuals whose incomes are below $60,000. So if you'd like to make an appointment, you can call 888-434-8248. And I believe that is all my comments for this evening. So we will close commissioner comments.
Item 8, consent calendar.
All matters listed under the consent calendar are considered to be routine and will be enacted in one motion in the form listed below. There will be no separate discussion of these items prior to the time the Commission votes on the motion unless members of the Commission, staff, or the public request a specific item to be removed from the consent calendar. These items will be discussed and voted upon immediately following Commission action on the remainder of the consent calendar. Upon invitation of the chairperson, members of the public who wish to discuss the consent calendar items should come forward to the microphone at this time. State your name and the city in which you reside and the item number of the consent calendar. So if any of the family members of Mrs. Garman would like to make any comments, this would be the time. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm Jim Garman. I was married to Jan for 61 years. We have Costa Mesa has been a wonderful community for us, and this setting up a bench in the jewel of the community at Estancia Park would be a great, memorable event. And I appreciate very much the work of Robert Ryan in helping us to make a request, and I thank you for your consideration.
Wonderful. It's a very nice application. Thank you for bringing it forward. I'm sorry about the loss of your wife. At this time, we will close the public comment, and I will ask for a motion.
I'll motion to approve.
Second.
Any questions, comments? Not questions, any comments? At this time, I will call for the question.
Madam Chair, may I?
Yes, please.
May I just? Yes, thank you. I just want to say thank you for sharing some of the legacy of your wife with us. I think it's really amazing to put something like that in the community, and I think, you know, even though I don't know her, just as a park goer, it is a blessing to be able to go to a park and sit on a bench and see a plaque that honors the life of someone and just know that there's a life there and a story that stands behind that. So thank you.
Call for the question.
The motion carries 5-0. Presentation item 9, Annual Arts and Culture Programs Update.
Madam Chair, Recreation Supervisor Ashley Thomas, who's in charge of arts and culture programs for the Parks and Community Services Department, will be presenting this evening.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Mrs. Thomas.
Good evening, Commissioners. As Justin mentioned, my name is Ashley Thomas, a Recreation Supervisor here with the City of Costa Mesa. I'm also the City Liaison for the Arts and Culture, the Culture Arts Committee. So today I have the privilege of presenting the Arts and Culture Programs Update. The Costa Mesa Culture Arts Committee is comprised of 11 members with a mission to support cultural arts programs, bring awareness to the residents of Costa Mesa, the City of the Arts. As you can see on this slide highlights some of the projects, programs, and events that the committee has been working on. Art Venture, our signature art event, is a juried art show that takes place in the prestigious Segerstrom Center for the Arts. It's a 2-day community event that exhibited more than 150 local artists and entertained an estimated 1,750 attendees. As you can see on the slide, there's lots of pictures from that evening as well and the day after. The Youth Art Gallery is located on the first floor of City Hall. The gallery exhibits artwork from Costa Mesa youth through partnerships with nonprofit organizations and Costa Mesa schools. In 2018, the Youth Art Gallery featured youth art from Soy, Estancia High School, Boys and Girls Club, Girls Inc., and our Costa Mesa Rocks program. The exhibit is located at the Costa Mesa Senior Center. The gallery exclusively exhibits artwork from Costa Mesa artists 50 years and older. The committee members host a reception that features artists where the public can come view the artwork, meet the artists while enjoying some refreshments. The Art in the Fifth Gallery is located on the 5th floor of City Hall. The gallery exclusively exhibits artwork from professional artists in Costa Mesa. Like the exhibit, the committee members host a reception for the featured artists. The pictures that you can see in the slide are from our past 4 receptions. We have our committee members in there with the artists as well. In the means to increase public art, the Utility Box Art Program was established. Artistic vinyl wraps are used to cover city-owned utility boxes and encompass the artwork of local artists. Currently, there are 25 completed boxes, and by the end of the summer, the committee projects to have 6 more boxes installed. The grant program was established to support and grow art communities, the art community in Costa Mesa. Grants up to $500 may be awarded to arts groups and individuals. The most recent recipient was the Costa Makers event, who received the maximum award of $500. The Costa Mesa Director of the Arts serves as a resource to highlight Costa Mesa's ever-growing population of local arts organizations, and galleries. Currently, the art encompasses 48 artists and 17 art organizations. The purpose of the City of Costa Mesa's Arts and Culture Master Plan is to develop a 5 to 10-year strategic plan that defines the role of the city in supporting arts and culture and the role of arts and culture in accomplishing the city's broader goals. Costa Mesa, the City of the Arts, believes that there should be a solid foundation with both short-term and long-term goals, as well as a clear and impactful vision for the future. The plan will result in a set of recommendations with priorities and steps to accomplish them, which may be supported through policy and the commitment of private and public resources. In addition, the plan will provide additional recommendations to enhance the organization's presence as an art powerhouse while promoting the motto, City of the Arts. Over the past 12 months, the community input and data was collected through stakeholder interviews, community forums, an online survey, in person as well, and monthly meetings with the Culture Arts Committee. What's the next step? The plan will be presented to the Culture Arts Committee in either April or March in the City Council mid-year. Smart Camp consists of 3 separate offerings broken down into half-day sessions for sports, music, and arts. Camp is funded and organized by the City of Costa Mesa in partnership with the Newport Mesa Unified School District staff. The music session includes beginner music, jazz band, and strings. And the arts session includes visual 2D, 3D, and acting and dance. The Parks and Community Services Department offers a variety of arts and culture-related classes, from visual arts to culinary arts, and dances for all ages. Listed on this screen are a few local art-related updates. We have the Orange County Museum of the Arts. Their groundbreaking is tentatively scheduled for summer 2019. Selena Mendoza, she is one of our past Art on the Fifth artists. And she was actually named OC Laureate of 2019. So we were really excited for her. And then a few dates to save. Art Venture 2019 has officially been scheduled. It is September 6th and 7th. And again, it will be at the Renee and Henry Segerstrom Concert Hall. And then Concerts in the Park, which I heard you mention earlier, will be July 9th, 16th, 23rd, and 30th at Fairview Park. One thing I did miss as I was talking to our TV crew here, our Costa Mesa TV crew, they have just launched a new series called Portraits, and they are basically highlighting our local artists, and they interview them, they actually go into their studios, and they learn everything about them. So I encourage you, there's 2 that are currently on YouTube at this time. If you type in Portraits, City of Costa Mesa, I encourage you to go on there and see the first couple episodes, but we'll continue to publicize them. And I think they said they have 3 in the queue at this time. So if you have a chance, I definitely encourage you to go view those. They're very interesting. And last but not least, I do encourage you to follow us on Facebook. We're constantly have updates for the arts, whether it's our activities, events, programs, or it's local. So please feel free to follow us if you are on Facebook. So that concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you very much. Well done.
Thank
So
you.
much going on. We love these updates to be up to speed on everything that's going on.
We do.
With the program. So,
And one last thing, sorry
Yes,
to cut you
please.
off. One last thing, I do have Charlene Ashendorf. She is our vice chair in the audience for the Culture Arts Committee. I know you had a couple comments, Charlene. Did you want to add anything at this time prior to the comments?
I would invite you to take a moment
As an extension of my presentation.
Yes, we can
She's
make.
highly involved in all these
Yes.
programs, and I know she had a few things to share.
I will call it another point of personal privilege for.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
Ms.
I'm
Ashendorf.
sorry I'm
No.
late. I meant to be here for public comment, but Charlene Ashendorf, Costa Mesa resident and the vice chair. And I do want to say, first and foremost, we are so privileged to have Ashley Thomas as our staff liaison. She attends every public forum that she possibly can with the school district and other community events to really be a face for the arts. So thank you, Ashley. You did a great job. And well, as well, Justin. We're also really fortunate to have a very supportive city council who is very involved in our City of the Arts. I did want to add a couple of things that are really important to us. This last year, we started hosting receptions at each of the galleries. And so I invite you to come to the gallery and the event to meet our artists. Last month, we recognized two Costa Mesa artists. Both of them are Costa Mesa high school teachers, and so they're very involved in the community. And we had also, at the same time, a reception in the lobby for the Costa Mesa middle school children who are the featured artists. So they felt like their artwork was really elevated. And I'd also like to encourage you, as Ashley said, the social media is really going on fire. The last two interviews were spectacular, and the artists were so happy. And now that we're at the center, please visit the exhibit. The exhibit is special to my heart. This quarter, we're featuring the Alzheimer's Association. All of the artwork that you'll see on the stairwell and upstairs has been done by Alzheimer's patients. And so it's a special opportunity that we're collaborating here with the cultural arts, the city, and Alzheimer's organization. So we're doing a lot of great things, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for all your hard work in the community. It is really enhances the quality of life in the city, and we commend you for all of your efforts. I know it's a lot of work. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you for your presentation. And at this time, we will move on to item 10.
Item 10, old business, no items. Item 11, new business, no items. Item 12, maintenance manager's report.
Good evening, Mr. Lindeman.
Good evening, Chair McNabb, and I'd like to welcome the new commissioners and other chairs. Good evening, everyone. I'm just going to give you an overview of maintenance services and some other things in the Public Services Department of Maintenance Services. Maintenance Services oversees all the parks, 29 parks, which consist of over 230 acres of developed landscape, and sports fields are included in that as well. You can see a breakdown there of the 217 acres, 37 acres of sports turf, and 22,000 trees. One of our prides here is the Jack Hammett Sports Complex, which is 6 sports fields. It's 12 acres and is the home of the Los Angeles Chargers training camp. There is some field rehabilitation, and you can see how it looks, before, after a season of play. And there's another. This is field renovations at T. Winkle Sports Complex, which was we completely remove all the sod and replace the sod. And this is a little information about our tree trimming and urban forestry program. The city's urban forestry consists of 24,000 palms and trees. The trees are maintained with a contract with West Coast Arborists. They're at 2,000 palms are annually trimmed annually, and most trees are on a regular 3 to 5 year trim cycle unless otherwise called for by the species. That's just a picture of some tree trimming here. And you can see here, 1,865 palms were trimmed thus far in fiscal year 1920. Also included as part of maintenance is a weekly pressure washing program where all the picnic shelters are pressure washed weekly, as well as park is pressure washed weekly by in-house staff, and the restrooms and other facilities are done bi-weekly or monthly by a contract with a pressure washing company. I'd like to just highlight some recently completed projects, and this is the T. Winkle Park Tennis Center resurfacing and fence replacement project. The interior chain link fences were replaced. The courts were completely ground leveled and resurfaced. And there's a picture of how it looks today with people actually enjoying it. It was a very successful project. And there, I just want to really include, there was those abandoned water fountains in the corner, and you can see where they smashed all the trophies that were inside there. And the other two are some pictures of how it looked and during the construction. Another project we were very proud of is the rubberized resurfacing of playground areas, which were 16 parks. I won't go through all those. I'll make all that available to you if you would like, but there's some pictures of that. It was a very successful project. It was scheduled to be done at 10 parks, but we got it done. We got 16 done for that price. Another one that's upcoming that this Parks and Rec Commission voted on and approved of this design in November is the Pinkley Park Playground Improvements, which we are kind of excited about. We should be breaking ground here in April. The new design, it was approved in November, as I stated. It will have 14 play components. It will be the first playground with a shade component as a part of it, which I think is kind of nice. And it's, like I said, it's scheduled for installation in April. And down below, you can see some current conditions and how small the actual playground is, the play area is right now. And it's a very small footprint at that location, so we're kind of happy with how this comes out, and we look forward to seeing it. Normally about every 2 months, every other month, I will come back and give a maintenance update on some of the smaller items and daily activities that are done. And we have like Canyon Park climbing apparatus was replaced. And you can see here there's some of the different types of work that are done regularly on a daily basis. And there's like the before after. You really can't see it from this distance, but that little climbing ladder is very it's rusted. It's got some edges that were torn, and so staff inspects playgrounds daily. The sand is raked daily, and staff does daily inspections of all play surfaces. And when we find something like that, we caution tape it up and orders. It does take a little while, and then we order parts and schedule replacements. And there's a few more. And with not just the actual facilities at the parks are inspected and scheduled for work. And here you can see there was some damage to the doors, over aging and being kicked, and they kind of just did a little replacement job there. Here's a Moon Park salt slide replacement. That slide had degraded, the color was faded, and had become very scratched up on the interior, which you really can't see, but the new slide was installed recently. This was a little project that was done a little while ago, but it was a pedestrian bridge at Wacom Park. It leads from the condominiums into the park, and there's an after of it. And that really will conclude the maintenance. I could have put up a lot of pictures of all the little work they do, but I just kind of want to get you familiar with the sort of things, and you'll see every other month I will include the items like this. I thought this would be a good opportunity to mention the Lions Park playground improvements. This meeting is going to be open to the public, and it is to get input on the design of the playground area, and it's scheduled for Saturday, March 9th. There will be surveys taken there, as well as surveys can be done online. There's a contact information down at the bottom of the gentleman who will be from Public Services who will be in charge of that. And that will conclude my presentation for tonight. And if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Do any of the commissioners have any questions for Mr. Lindeman?
I just had a question. Who makes the decisions on when to replace some of the old playground components?
For components, that is done by our staff, and during their inspections, we have certified playground inspectors, and they make those replacements. But for a complete replacement, that is like we do have some. Hopefully, they'll be approved. But Jordan Park is we're going to be doing a playground replacement project in fiscal year 1920. We'll be bringing a design forward, and since it's a maintenance issue, we'll probably just bring 3 designs and discuss it with the Parks and Rec Commission. While another issue, more like Shalimar Park, we will have to do community outreach, which should be coming in March or April.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you very much. Appreciate that. This time we will move on to item 13. I welcome you to make public comments at this time if you would like to. Yes.
I just wanted to say that there's also something happening this Sunday at Fairview Park that the city is hosting, and it is along with, I guess, their biologist, Mr. Martin, may be able to tell you more about it, and it's to learn about the wildlife and the resources at Fairview Park. There's a lot of erosion control going on right now by DUDEC. I hope that you get that information as well. And also, with the concerts in the park, that was a great presentation. It would be nice if that was moved to other parks, and I'd like to see the vision of Fairview Park for educational opportunities. That's the kind of events we need, not loud carnivals and loud rock and roll selling alcohol. The people just trample everything. They drink a bunch of alcohol and go trample everything. You don't see that at Newport Back Bay. You don't see that at Gerona Marsh, Santa Rosa Plateau. You respect the resources. And I'd really like to see the vision of the city and what they're doing and how you are informed and what you are directed to do, because this is a long-term vision for our community, our kids, everything. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving on.
Item 13, Parks and Community Services Director's Report.
Thank you, Chair McNabb, members of the Commission. Welcome to all the new commissioners. Looking forward to working with you and getting to know you better so you can help make great positive steps forward for the city. The city's winter session of recreation and community services activities and programs are now halfway through the regular schedule of offerings, with more than 200 classes and dozens of additional programs and event offerings. With this, the latest edition of the Recreation Guide for the upcoming spring season recently hit more than 45,000 Costa Mesa mailboxes, with registration for the upcoming spring season of offerings beginning earlier this week on Monday, as well as registration for non-residents beginning this coming Monday. The School Year Rocks after-school program that's located at 11 school district sites is quickly approaching the 1,100 registered participant mark, which is right in line with the registration numbers as compared to this time last year. The city's free youth basketball and cheerleading program is entering into the tail end of the season, and nearly 250 youth are participating between both of these programs. The final games for the program will be played at the Downtown Recreation Center over the next 2 weeks, and the season will then wrap up with a participant family gathering event. The department hosted a successful President's Week camp earlier this month that was filled to capacity, which was held at the Blarick Community Center as well as at Estancia Park while school was on break. Our mobile recreation program has continued to bring play, homework help, and mentorship to several neighborhoods throughout the city during the last month. The program has visited Shalimar Park, Tewinkle Park, Lions Park, and the Fillmore area neighborhood. And there were many canceled days due to the recent inclement weather. However, we did still have strong participation with more than 165 participants. With the cooler temperatures of the season, we offer slightly less programming at our aquatic center. We do, however, continue to see strong participation in our lap swim program. We're also finishing up our most recent junior guard prep program at the aquatic center as well. And as we move into the spring session, additional aquatics and safety classes will be coming online. The city's teen program has remained busy, with average attendance at each center for the month hovering around the 300 mark. This is an increase from last year's total monthly attendance. The teen program does have an upcoming free special event on March 15th that will be called Color Wars Flag Capture, which is a hybrid between a typical color run and a game of capture the flag. Our animal care services, along with our animal shelter and adoption service providers, saw more than 200 animals enter and exit our city animal care system during the month of January. with 72 animals being adopted and 15 being directly reunited with their owners. The winter season of youth and adult sports is underway and is about to begin ramping up even more for our many sports organizations. Some of the city's athletic facilities were recently under rest and are, or will be, back open so long as weather permits. With this, the opening day for Costa Mesa's youth baseball programs is scheduled for this Saturday at Costa Mesa High School, T-Winkle Middle School, and T-Winkle Athletic Complex. These are all weather permitting as well. And our adult sports league play currently includes 90 participants in our adult basketball league and 100 teams for our adult softball league. Wow, I just heard that. That's absolutely correct. It's a gigantic league. In regards to community events, the staff and the city's Historical Preservation Committee recently held a partnership event with the County of Orange Historical Commission that dedicated a historical marker plaque at the Estancia Adobe, designating it as an official county site of historical significance. This event, which had originally been scheduled for early January, took place on February 9th due to previous inclement weather and was attended by local and state representatives. Some additional upcoming events include staff partnering with the Orange County Freedom Committee to host The Wall That Heals, which is a traveling three-quarter replica of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. This event will take place at Balearic Park April 11th through 14th and is one of only 2 California cities out of the 34 total cities that the wall will visit across the country in 2019. And this weekend, weather permitting as well, there will be a World Wildlife Day event at Fairview Park beginning at 9 a.m. on Sunday. Also newly added to the event schedule is the ribbon cutting and grand opening of the Lions Park Library, which is scheduled for Friday, April 26th. And speaking of Lions Park, I'm happy to announce that there is now 24-hour roving patrol on the entire campus provided by a contract security provider. On the immediate docket are also the ongoing recruitments for city committees. The applicant window is currently open and applications may be submitted until 5 p.m. on March 6th. So we highly encourage the public who may be interested to submit their applications to the city clerk. There's also a free tax prep event, which Chair McNabb mentioned, that's taking place right here at the Costa Mesa Senior Center tomorrow, Friday, March 1st from 3 to 7 p.m. And again, is open to adults age 18 plus who individually make $60,000 or less per year. The public can call 888-434-8248 to sign up for the event, or they can come and walk up if there are open appointments. And again, that's a partnership between the city, the United Way, and the Assemblywoman's office. In regards to public meetings, staff has held several community meetings recently and will continue to hold additional meetings, including one to receive input on the playground design at Lions Park, as Mr. Lindemann mentioned. That, too, will take place here at the Costa Mesa Senior Center on March 9th. And again, this is a follow-up from an initial meeting that took place earlier in January. An additional community open house meeting on homelessness is also being scheduled for Tuesday, March 26th here at the Senior Center, and is a follow-up from the first open house forum on homelessness that took place in late January. Speaking of homelessness, the City Council has taken many important actions over the last 2 months to address homelessness and towards opening a bridge shelter. At this time, there is a target date of April 1st to begin operation of the temporary bridge shelter at the Lighthouse Church, which is just up the street from where we are this evening, with both city staff and professional shelter operator Mercy House working together around the clock to meet this fast-approaching target start date. With that being said, the vast majority of my time has been spent on issues related to homelessness and on establishing and formalizing a plan to create both permanent and temporary shelter solutions. As such, I have had to rely more heavily on the leaders in my department to manage the day-to-day administrative and oversight duties. I would like to take a moment to formally thank Recreation Manager Yvette Aguilar for willingly stepping up to lead the department during this time and for doing it both with grace and poise. The city is lucky to have her leadership skills and work ethic, and not only is she an example for others, but she's an integral part of the city's overall leadership team, so thank you. I'd also be remiss if I didn't thank the department's greater lead staff team for their dedication, hard work, and flexibility during this very busy and challenging time, but we've been very productive, and I'm looking forward to continuing moving forward. Again, I commend them for showing that the commitment to the highest level of service has not wavered in the department. I also want to remind the public of ongoing trail closures that are taking place at Fairview Park. We're completing necessary emergency repair work for significant erosion that's taken place that will lead to both protecting the public as well as the resources of the vernal pools in their watershed. And finally, as the commission moves forward, there will be considerations for items like tree removals, capital improvement projects, seasonal program updates, and much, much more. We didn't want to overwhelm anyone this evening, and we didn't have any really taxing items that were time sensitive. So we wanted to start you out on a very positive note that was not overwhelming. So again, welcome. That concludes my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you very much for the report, Mr. Martin. There were a couple things I wondered if you might be able to help clarify. Was the color run / dodgeball, is that calendared? Did you mention a date, or did I miss it? March 15th. Okay, I'm sorry.
It's going to be at the Downtown Recreation Center in the backyard.
And then do you have the listing of all of the committees that have openings? Would you, if you have that?
So every committee has openings currently, yes.
Okay.
Due to varying terms of 2 years, 1 year, 4 year, whatever each committee gets, there are openings on all committees.
Okay, great. So I would encourage my fellow commissioners and the new commissioners that if you have friends that are interested in certain areas, you could look at that list of committees and encourage them to apply so that we have new faces helping us at City Hall. And then also, Mr. Martin, could you give us a status update of the commission and any possible changes that may be forthcoming?
Of course, Madam Chair. So the City Council in a prior meeting had brought forth a recommendation or voted on a recommendation to, one, dissolve the Senior Commission, which is an existing 7-member commission that was created specifically for the Senior Center. So that was the first recommended action. The second recommended action was to rename the Parks and Recreation Commission to the Parks, Arts, and Community Services Commission and to expand the breadth of responsibility of that commission. And to increase the size from 5 members to 7 members, and to designate 2 members for specific purposes, one being to be a liaison specifically to the senior center so that the senior population that attends the center here can continue to have a voice and be heard, and the second to be a liaison specifically to arts and culture related projects and initiatives. The City Council will be considering that on the March 5th meeting. It is a change to the municipal code, so it needs to be heard twice, and if it passes as was intended or recommended at the last meeting, they'll also be hearing it on March 19th to finalize it.
Thank you for that clarification. Do other commissioners have questions of Mr. Martin? Mr. Erickson?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Martin, for the report. I was listening to the Arts and Culture report and really interested in this SMART camp, sports, music, and arts free camp for 6 weeks in the summer. Just wondering if that's being like cross-marketed with Rocks and like the larger recreation division, and how that's getting out to the kids, because a free 6-week summer camp just looks so valuable if we're doing everything we can to market that as the school year ends.
That's a great question, Commissioner Erickson. As the summer recreation guide is being put together currently, I know I just said we just delivered the spring one, but we're already working on the summer one. One of the main features from advertisement in there is about Smart Camp. Okay. This will be I believe the 4th year that we're doing this program. It's grown exponentially in the last several years, both in participation as well as marketing. We do market it with our Rocks program. We actually send flyers to all those sites. I believe last year participation was somewhere around the 350 participant mark between all programs. It's grown every year. The city does provide about $60,000 to the district to be able to run this camp. Again, it's organized by the city with the assistance of the school district expert staff to be able to run these programs. And last year, the Los Angeles Chargers also participated in the sports camp, and the music camp also has a concert, which the commission will be invited to attend.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. Public comment?
Just real quick, thank you. Thank you. I think there's a lot of great things happening in Costa Mesa. I don't want to be Debbie Downer, always talking about what's not happening, but really that's the only reason why I come here, is because if I think there's something not good happening. Otherwise, I'd probably just stay away. Anyway, I see the report of the funds, how much money each has gotten. And there's so many great things happening. But one thing I noticed that was not included is how much money the fish fry actually owes the city of Costa Mesa. The purchase agreement, and I have a copy of the Fairview Park purchase agreement, which shows you that all concessions, there was supposed to be an enterprise fund established for Fairview Park. All concessions in Fairview Park, that money goes to Fairview Park for maintenance and operations. Anything else is for improvements in Fairview Park. That has never been established. I learned that through a public records request. Even with more staff on hand this year, a car still went through a vernal pool, and they were not able to give me with the public records request how much money was spent on that. So I have a copy for you guys of the purchase agreement. It's page 4, item 8. So I think that people need to just make sure that they read things, really take the time to read things, because the dirt is always in the details. Please come to understand this and take time to read. Thank you.
Thank you very much. If at the next meeting, potentially we could address the concessions fund, that would be appreciated. One final thing that I forgot to mention during the commissioner comments is that tomorrow is Dr. Seuss's birthday, and therefore it is Read Across America Day. So I encourage everyone to enjoy something to read and try to read to a child if you have a child in your life that would like to hear a story. So with that, I will adjourn until our next meeting, which is March 28th here at the Costa Mesa Senior Center. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.